Today we are diving into the circular world of Circum. We're going to go around the word. Literally. We're going to follow this one powerful little prefix on a journey through our language and see just how it shapes the way we see the world. And that prefix is circum. It's Latin, and the beautiful thing about it is its consistency. It's so reliable. No matter where you see it, circum always means around or about. That's our North Star for today.
So let's see this prefix in action. We'll start with two very different ideas. The act of physically cutting around something, and then the act of talking around it.
Okay, our first word. Let's say it together slowly. Circumcision. Again. Circumcision. Circumcision. The origin of this word is just so direct. You have circum, that means around, we know that, and it's attached to the Latin root cadere, which means to cut. So you put them together, and circumcision literally just means cutting around. A very, very straightforward term.
And this root cadere is actually pretty intense. It means to strike, to beat, or to cut. You can actually see its DNA in some much darker words, like the side and suicide. Yeah, the Romans did not mess around with their language.
All right, let's move to our next word. We're shifting from a physical act to a verbal one. Get ready for this one. Circumlocution. One more time. Circumlocution. Circumlocution.
So here we keep our old friend circum for around, but we swap out the root. Now we're using loqui, which is Latin for to speak. Put them together, and you get circumlocution. Literally, the art of speaking around a topic.
And if you're ever looking for a perfect, everyday way to remember this is it. Circumlocution is really just a fancier way of saying someone is beating about the bush. They're avoiding the main point by talking all around it. Okay, let's keep building. Next up, we're going to see circum applied to the physical acts of drawing a line around something and then actually walking around.
First up for this section is this word. Let's try it.
Circumscribe. 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 Okay, so we're back to circum, but this time we pair it with scribere, which in Latin means to write or draw. So the original core meaning was simply to draw a line around something. But from that simple idea of just drawing a line, the word's meaning really evolved. To circumscribe something now means to limit it, to contain it, to define its boundaries. There's that famous Tolstoy story about a guy who's told he can own all the land he can walk around in one day. He gets greedy, tries to circumscribe this enormous area, and he dies from exhaustion. It's just a powerful metaphor for setting limits.
And this is where it gets really interesting, right? When you pair circum with loqui, to speak, you get this evasive act, speaking around the point. But when you pair it with scribere, to write, you get a definitive act, drawing a boundary around something. It's the exact same prefix, but it leads to a totally different result.
All right, now for a word that just sounds fantastic. Ready? Circumambulate. Say it with me. Circumambulate. Circumambulate. This one's super straightforward. Circum for around, plus ambulare, the Latin verb to walk. So to circumambulate is literally to walk around something. You see it a lot in religious contexts, like when pilgrims walk around a sacred shrine. They're not just taking a stroll, they're performing a ritual, an act of circumambulation. Let's broaden our view now. We're going to zoom out, way out. We're moving from walking around a single spot to grander movements on a global, even a cosmic scale. We're talking sailing and turning around. Now for a word you've almost definitely heard. Circumnavigate. Again, circumnavigate. Circumnavigate. So, to circumnavigate is to sail all the way around something, usually the entire world. And this word is forever linked with Ferdinand Magellan's famous expedition from 1519. But here's the fun historical twist. Magellan himself, he never made it. He was actually killed in the Philippines. It was his surviving crew that completed the very first circumnavigation of the globe. And for our last word in this section, we're going from the sea to the heavens. Let's try this one. Circumrotate. 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 This one feels almost scientific, doesn't it? We've got circum, meaning rotere, which means to turn, and comes from the Latin word for wheel, rota. So to circumrotate is to turn or revolve around a central point. And I mean, think big. The moon circumrotates the Earth. The Earth, in turn, circumrotates the sun. You could say our entire existence is just one continuous circumrotation.
All right, time for our final word. And this one feels a little different. It's more strategic. It's about the cunning art of getting around something. Our final and maybe our most strategic word is this one. Let's practice. Circumvent. Circumvent. Circumvent.
The evolution of this word is just fascinating. It combines circum with veneer, which means to come. So literally, it means to come around. But over time, that meaning shifted from just visiting to getting around a problem, or a rule, or some obstacle, often in a clever way. When you circumvent something, you're not facing it head-on. You're finding a smart way to bypass it. It really is the art of the strategic sidestep.
And that brings us right to our final thought. After seeing how we cut, speak, draw, walk, sail, and even scheme our way around things, it kind of makes you wonder, is life itself just one grand circumnavigation? Are we all just on our own personal journeys trying to make our way around the obstacles and challenges of the world? Something to think about.